There was a time when resources seemed endless. But in 2030, the great energy crisis began. With hardly any resources left on our world, global powers created the World Space Agency to look beyond the Earth for answers. The answer was found in helium-3, a powerful isotope discovered in abundance on the Moon. With it, humanity could satisfy its energy demand for decades to come. And so, in 2032, mankind colonized the Moon. Spearheaded by the Lunar Council, the WSA constructed several permanent settlements to harvest and process helium-3. The resulting energy was transferred to Earth through a revolutionary energy network, the Microwave Power Transmission, or MPT. For a time, all seemed well. Then, one fateful night in 2054, the lights went out. No energy. The MPT had gone offline, and communication with the lunar colonist was lost. Without earthly resources to launch a full-scale rescue mission to the Moon, the World Space Agency was shut down permanently in 2055. But a small group of former WSA colonists refused to accept humanity's bleak future. Determined to discover the colony's fate and to restore the MPT, they've been preparing their mission in an abandoned desert launch facility. Now, in 2059, they are ready to launch an astronaut to the Moon. What awaits is unknown and unforeseeable, but the mission is clear. Deliver us the Moon.
And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ellison Cruz, and I'd like to welcome you to a little indie title called Deliver Us the Moon. I've played just enough of this to come to the conclusion that it would very much be worth our time to record and explore the rest of it with you guys as I test out more settings on my new recording equipment. Now, to my knowledge, this is a game that focuses much more on plot and atmosphere, no pun intended, rather than conflict and combat. But honestly, this so far seems to be a moody sci-fi thriller that is well worth the journey, even if it is a somewhat glorified spacewalking simulator. So with that being said and done, let's go ahead and get started.
Friends and family of the missing lunar colonists gather all around the world tonight in remembrance of the 2054 MPT blackout that resulted in a global power outage and the loss of contact with the lunar colony. The blackout caused global turmoil, which ultimately led to the closure of the World Space Agency 1 year later. In other news, the recent formation of the largest dust storm on record has prompted climatologists to readjust their forecast of the equatorial desert's growth rate. As a result of the new storm, the desert could soon cover 30% of the globe's landmass. Several governments have pledged support for refugees, despite reports of resource shortages. The dust storm is expected to hit residential zones between the northern 49th and 50th latitude lines by late afternoon and pass over the World Space Agency's former MPT ground station in the Adirau Desert. Authorities have imposed a mandatory evacuation of the impacted areas. For countries north of the equatorial desert, temperatures are expected to be a mild 46 degrees Celsius. This was Nicole Page for World News 1, September 16, 2059. Wishing you a safe and happy day.
Well, thank you, Nicole Page, for getting us all up to date on everything that's going wrong here. So it appears as though a ragtag group of astronauts, or at least ourselves, are going to try to save the world before it gets taken over by global warming. And amongst the things that we can do in our little humble abode here, one of the things you're going to want to do is read the Moon Man comics, because there is actually an achievement that you can unlock by reading every issue of this. So we'll try our best in doing so, but apparently it's going to be mirroring a lot of what we're going to be doing. While the road is desolate and the hardships many, he knows that he must persevere to save mankind. And that must have been intentional, I'm assuming. Okay, well, so much for that. I guess I'm going to turn off the radio now that the weather forecast is over. And I guess we'll head over here.
We're ready to start the mission. Do you copy?
Oh, Claire. All right. Let's do it. Step inside our suit and prepare for the journey ahead.
Ground control to Fortuna 1, this is Claire. Please confirm radio contact.
Confirming radio contract via AstroTool. World Space Agency welcomes you to your wrist.
Radio contact confirmed. Make your way to the launch platform and prime the rocket for liftoff. We have to launch before the dust storm hits.
Okay, sounds good. Enter the Fesenkov launch facility. As we saw in the beginning cutscene, this is actually an abandoned launch station, so there's probably a couple of other things we need to do before we actually hit the old radio waves in space. So with that having been said and done, right thumbstick, you click it and you get your lovely little flashlight out and you zoom in with the right trigger so that you can kind of inspect things, which is going to be really important. We're going to be trying to fill out as much of our personal dossier as we possibly can, and that's going to be mostly important for the backstory and learning about what happened up there, and amongst other things, it'll get us achievements, so that's going to be a fun time. So here we are at the Cosmodrome.
There she is, the Taurus 5. It took us 4 years to get her ready for launch. But you need to hurry. The dust storm will hit this area in a few hours. If we don't succeed now, the Fortuna mission will be over for good.
Yeah, we should probably do that soon before the sandstorm overtakes us. Some pretty good timing that we've had here. So, first thing we're going to scan appears to be this ring satellite in the sand. So we take that, take a look in the database, and it's the MPT network dish, created by Isaac Johansson. Interesting. Since Isaac's disappearance during the 2054 blackout, Claire Johansson has studied her father's work closely in preparation for the Fortuna mission. Interesting. Alright, so it looks like we're going to have a little bit of familial correlations there, and I'm going to be picking up achievements here left and right. So scannable objects generally will not be made known to you until you get relatively close to them, but I think for the most part, they're in pretty easy to find areas. I haven't had too much trouble finding them for as little as I've played the game, and I'll let you know where I stopped, because it's at that point where you're like, okay, I'm in, you sold me. If we head inside this trailer, it's pretty interesting. It's a girl, Isaac and Elizabeth, for Kathy Christina Johansson. Oh, that's kind of cute. Daddy on the Moon. Oh, man. All right, so we have a book here. MPT, End to the Age of Wires. So it appears as though Mr. Johansson was a bit of a science nerd. Imagine a world free of fossil fuels and pollution. Yeah, so the microwave power transmission is, I think, the end-all most important thing in this game, and is what we're going to be seeing a lot more of. I'm going to go and scan this. What is that? Oh, dang. I did not realize this was like a... Oh. So apparently after the mom died, Claire and Kathy went up into the space station, or the moon at least. Man, that's rough. Is there anything else in here we can deal with? There's random things that you can interact with, but for the most part, a lot of it is really limited, and so you're just kind of exploring and seeing things you can do, such as flipping or flushing. What will we do? Both. Yeah, it's some pretty cool stuff you can do in this game, am I right? Left trigger lets you run, and then you can also jump, so you're not entirely limited in your mobility, but at the same time, I don't know, it just seems like you probably could get stuck in this very frequently. We already checked over here, right? I don't think there's anything to explore beyond there, but we should probably start heading forward a bit towards the monolith at hand. Start discovering some of the puzzles that we have to deal with, because there are quite a few in this game, and it seems pretty important. Over here, it looks like we've got ourselves the Sputnik Monument, and marks the entrance to the Fesenkov Cosmodrome. The sign reads, "To the stars, to the moon, fly me to the moon." Yeah, some stuff over here. We can actually, I think, climb up this if we wanted to. It's really weird what the game allows you to, like, just be able to platform on and whatnot. If we head over here, actually, we can activate this, which I don't really think is important, but hooray! That's about to be us. The little model rocket. Yeah, that's fine. That's nice. I'm surprised it's been primed for that long and we're able to activate it, but let's head up here. Something you're gonna notice is gonna be lots of big text on the screen and lots of contact A, contact B sort of things. So I don't have a feeling that this is going to be difficult, but if I miss obvious answers, then I apologize. It's probably me just thinking a little too hard on it. For now, the elevator's broken. That is a bit of a damn shame. I'm gonna head up here, double check the laptop and make sure it's still going, and hopefully not burn my brains out because it's very warm in here. Luckily, I have some ice cold water, so we'll be fine. Oh, also something I should mention is you have a bit of a heads up display on the back of your chest plate, which is kind of cool. You can see that our battery for our flashlight will regenerate when we're not using it. And so I don't think that that's super important since a lot of this game isn't super dark, but you will start seeing numbers and other things back there, which is a little bit reminiscent of Dead Space, which, oh boy, I feel like that game is due for remaster any day now, but this game definitely has some of that atmosphere. So as we step here, let's head up, shall we?
You're on your way up to the facility. The control center is located on the top floor. There you can prime the rocket for launch.
Sounds good, Claire. I appreciate it. Alright, so we gotta press the button to get out. How it's not automatic in this state-of-the-art system is beyond me.
It's been 5 years since we last received a microwave power transmission from the lunar colony. At first, no one believed it would be possible to transmit energy from the moon back to Earth. But the WSA proved the skeptics wrong. Just like you will, when you get the MPT back online.
Okay. It seems that after 5 years, they might have tried to make a better attempt at putting that thing back online, but if not, then, well, that's our job. So, flashlight's already on. We have a beautiful statue of a man holding what appears to be a small little robot thing that they've already shown a couple times. It's going to be interesting, but if we want to continue forward, we're going to need to find a keypad, since this is going to be the fun part of the game. It's just exploring and, oh hey, what do you know? How convenient. If power's out, use code 3548. Alright, for the door. So I will collect that. We now have that. And I don't think there's much else in here. So I think things will glow blue if we can actually scan them. I don't know that you actually have to get super close. It seems like they just will. So we're not going to have to worry about scanning obscure things, but the code 3548 will be good to move on forward. What is in here? Will this open the shutters? Yes, it will. Man. I will say I do very much enjoy the atmosphere of this game as well. It definitely reeled me in after the first 20 minutes or so, and it's basically Interstellar, the game. Let's just put it that way.
This building once functioned as part of the WSA, but it's been our home for many years now. I still can't believe you'll be leaving here for good soon. The desertification of this whole region won't take long after the storm passes through.
Yeah, it is weird that this is our home for so long. So we have the Space Tech magazine, issue 34. Man, people are still reading physical things in this day and age. What happened to the MPT? Only 3.5 years after it happened. Yeah. Interesting. Alright, so just a lot of speculation and no action. Definitely sounds like the world at work. I don't know if there's anything super important here. But I do know that this game does have a lot of random, rumbles to kind of indicate important things. So I guess if I wanted to, I could bring that up for some reason. I don't know why. Can I do anything with this? No. Because there are some things you can interact with and move, but for some reason, that is just not one of them. Now, we continue on over here. Just another weird, waiting room for an office. An area that we can't quite get over because of these damn pieces of equipment. Foiled again. Alright, so in here we've got ourselves, it looks like Maria Gonzalez's office. So, crudely drawn on a whiteboard, we've got the objective is to getting to MPT network to work. So, since 2055, Maria's team has been secretly working on their mission. Yeah, so it seems like not everyone might have been okay with this, which is completely understandable. But you know what people are okay with? Is spinning the world right round, baby. Right round. Do it. Over and over until you hear that beautiful sound of the game giving you amphetamine rush to your face. Alright, so we've got Wynn's research facility on a little cap. Oh, it's kind of tragic. Is that how you pronounce that one? Wynn? Something like that. I don't know. I knew a knock once, and she pronounced her last name like that, I think, and it was spelled that way. That was back in like first grade, man. It's crazy. Ah, here we go. What is this? All right. So this is Maria's broken ASE unit, one of the few survivors of the cryosleep malfunction. She brought that back to Earth. She's been repairing it to restore holographic recordings. Interesting. All right, that might be important, wouldn't you say? Dear Sarah, we met years ago on the Pearson space station. She was relieved after the cryosleep malfunction. They talked about the broken ASE, and Sarah does recall this conversation. She specializes in hardware, so she should reach out to Rolf Robertson. So I think Sarah Baker is more or less the protagonist of this game besides herself. And that sounds odd to say, but we're going to want to remember that name. Also, we've got antidepressants. I have a feeling we would probably need these working on this project, or one on the scale, on this caliber. And yeah, those lost during the malfunction of June 10th, 2048. Damn, that's a damn shame.